missionaries at one time. That's all I can say. Leader of the pack, the maddest dog of the Dogtown boys.
Mad dog.
Yeah.
He's like one of a kind, you know. He and Jay, boom.
Godfather, legend, ultimate icon, skateboarding. Tony Alva, he's like a brother to me.
Before we ever had a skateboard shoe, the reason we have it is because of that guy there. Navy blue, red, navy blue. First off the wall was Tony coming off the wall in the pool, and that's how that started.
When you think about skateboarding, think about Tony Alva. Early days on, still skating. I mean, the dude is just, he's a beast, nonstop. Mad respect for him.
Immeasurable. He's definitely the original dog man. I mean, he's the one that set the standard and that we all followed.
Tony Alva's impact on skateboarding.
Dude, he got me some free popcorn and a drink. You know?
Kind of like when a meteor hits the Earth, bro. It's just kind of unmistakably huge, gigantic, and explosive. Secondly, when I was a kid, it took me about 3 months to figure out what that said on the bottom of the board. Because I thought it was Alva. And then some kid came up to me, he's like, dude, you're so dumb, it's Alva. Don't you know anything? And I was like, fuck, I'm educated now. But yeah, dude, without guys like that to pave the way, I don't even know where we would be right now, you know?
God, he was #1. He was the first. You know? He's the coolest. What else can you say?
It's, you know, it's up here. He's been in the game forever, and legendary style master that ushered in the way of a skateboarder being a superstar.
Heavy, really heavy. That's what TA would say, heavy.
Everything that is basically a surf culture and style of skateboarding is all because of TA. I mean, basically Dogtown and everything it came from, the roots of Venice, like, that is skate style, plain and simple.
It's undescribable. Can't do it. Too much.
Describe the impact Tony Alva has had on skateboarding.
Oh, best skateboarder that ever lived. Like when I was a kid, we waited in line at the mall for 4 hours to get his autograph, and he signed my card. It said, "To Todd, skate rad but safe." I was bummed, and my brother said, "To Chris, skate out." And I was so jealous that my brother said skate out, and mine said skate rad but safe. But yeah, my favorite skateboarder of all time for 40 years. Nicest guy out there too. So that didn't really answer your question, but maybe it did, because it changed my life. You've heard skateboarding saved my life. Tony Alva saved my life.
It's so hard to describe. Even back in Michigan when we were growing up, the magazines would come out and we'd see what Tony was doing and we'd want to try to emulate it just as best we could. And, you know, it wasn't in the age of all the videos and everything, so all we had were pictures. So we didn't know from A to C, we knew what the picture was on B, so we had to figure it out and still, you know, be respectful to his style. So Tony was just insane. It was insane.
TA came from the water. It's a surf style. It's Venice. It's where it all started. It's the epicenter. Zephyrs. It's skateboarding came from surfing, and TA is the epitome of that. Jeff Ho, the whole gang and stuff. So this is the true story, real talk, and that's real talk.
Alva has had on skateboarding.
Oh, a lot. Right?
Yeah.
What was it? Let's just say there's a direct line from Tony Alva to Bart Simpson. All right?
We got a trifecta this week. We've got the showing here of a brand new documentary that nobody's ever seen before, so you're the first audience to get to check it out. Yeah! If you like something, scream. Tomorrow night we've got the Skateboarding Hall of Fame and then the Vans Pool Party on Saturday.
Let's go for Steve Van Doren!
I wanted to introduce the directors over here to my right. So we got Buddy and Rick, and of course, they're the ones that put the hard work into it. Jeff Grosso, where are you, Jeff? Love letters, where it all started from. And of course, the documentary is on Tony Alva. 1974, 1974, I was 18 years old. Tony was 16. That's the first time we kind of met. He was up in Santa Monica, and Betty Mitchell called up and said, you know, we keep getting these skaters. They're really wearing their shoes out and stuff. And we'll say, go ahead and, you know, give them some shoes. Yeah. So a few months later, Tony comes in. He's got navy blue Vans on. And all of a sudden, he decides he's going to make the left foot red and the right foot blue because he keeps wearing out the left foot. Okay, no problem. So when people started to do that, the shoes at that time were probably 10 bucks, so you could get just a left foot for $5. So it all started off there. The very first skate shoe we ever did was because of Tony Alva, and we made it navy blue. Wow. Navy blue, red, navy blue. Because that's the way that he was wearing his shoes at the time. And the off-the-wall heel label was created to go on the very first shoe was March 18th, 1976. Because I remember, because I got married 2 weeks early and I had to get back because we were launching the first skate shoe. So I came back to my honeymoon. And the off-the-wall heel label was, again, just previous years right there of Tony carving the pools and coming off the wall. And so in the spirit of individual, I would say, creative expressor that Tony is how we came up with that. And I thank him to this day, and the Z-Boys and Stacy Peralta. He's the one when we came up with the shoe a year later. Now we call it old school, it was the Style 36. But everything today started back there in the early 70s, mid 70s, and it was because of Tony Alva. And I wanted to thank him very much. Vice President of Creative, Jamie Riley, got the funds together to give these guys to get them wailing on it. But Jeff, Buddy, Rick, thank you very, very much. Would you like to say a little few words?
Thanks, Steve. Thanks to everybody at Vans that's helped us out. Jamie Riley, Jamie Hart, Jared, Ave, everybody else. You know who you are. And of course, all the people that allowed us to interview them, all the people that were generous with footage and photos, and of course, our editor, Christian, over there. Christian, that's the guy that put in the actual hard work, the real hard work. Yeah, we've been working on this thing for about 6 months, 6.5 months. And Bradley, yes, of course, our assistant Bradley. We've been working on the thing. Well, when was Tony's birthday? September what? Like 4th or something? September 4th, we were supposed to, that was maybe around that time when it was supposed to be a birthday present for Tony. And that was back in September. So we got into it and we're like, well, damn, this guy's been skating a long time. So it took a little longer than a month to put it together. And it's a special edition of our love letter series that we do with Grosso, or that Grosso does with us, or whatever. We're on, I think, 74 episodes deep. We've been doing it for about 8 years. Yeah! And, this is our first special edition documentary version of love letters, and no better person to give it to, obviously, than Tony Alva.
Yeah, 60 is just a number, you guys. So nobody knows, with skateboarding, how far we can take it. Nobody knows. So the 60 is just a number, literally. I can tell you that because I'm a surfer and a skateboarder, and what I experience on a daily basis is just like, I'm just staying in the moment. It's one more day. And it's really cool to have a sponsor like Steve Van Doren that actually listens to his team riders. And the funny thing is with Steve's story is that I had a navy blue and a red one on each foot. So they didn't know which color to kind of make the shoes, so they just made both colors. So it kind of makes sense in the long run. It's just, when it comes to creativity, I think, being a skateboarder, we want to keep it organic and evolve like spontaneously, There's nothing that's worse than just planning things out too much and expecting things to be perfect, and then the goodness is basically just like completely like sidetracked and knocked out of the equation by the quest for perfection. In skateboarding, it's not about perfection, it's about progress, and that's what we do, here. As Christian and Soy can attest to this, we go through our trials and tribulations in life To see Christian here is amazing. My friend Richie from Hamburg. To see Eric Monson here. Pete Zender. I see Bryce Elgato's here. I got Frank on the right over here. I got my drummer Matt in the middle with his family. Rachel, our sweet diva, in the middle. I mean, come on. This is like insane that you guys are here. I haven't seen the film yet, so I'm right here with you. I got Mike Early, one of my spiritual like foundations in my life, is up here. His family's here as well. So this is really, really cool that y'all are here. I just want to say thank you. The other thing is that one of the kids that filmed this was in the mix when our band was playing, was in the mix when we were skating pools. Like the whole thing, he's here on crutches today, which is rad. It's an testament to like how hard we will go. So, first grinds. I just want to give props, to everybody that made an effort for this, and both of our Jamies at Vans. It's really an effort and like something that's come from our heart and our soul, and that's what we have to do, is we have to remain connected to that in our lives. Don't worry about the ego and the head and all the things. I can tell you from the trials and tribulations of my life, all of that ego stuff, that I went through as a young man, everything I did back then is what got me here, but that's not the central focus of my life at this point. At 60 years old, still being a professional skateboarder, it's more about being of service and giving back to others. And it's not about what you did, it's about what you're doing. So I just want to let you guys know that. Don't rest on your laurels. If you're resting on your laurels and thinking that whatever you did was like super cool and that's enough, and that it was some sort of grandiosity that's going to bedazzle and be the profundity of the universe, because that's the way I used to think. Don't even go there. It's just about like just for today. And so just for today, we're going to share our story with you. And this is the way it is. Rick Charnosky, when I met Charnosky, he was driving and hitting potholes as fast as he could in Philadelphia and telling me, "You guys got mudslides and earthquakes, we got potholes." That's my first story of Charno, in Philadelphia, going to a skate spot where I think it was maybe like, it was out in the middle of like nowhere in Pennsylvania, and it was like 2 degrees Fahrenheit, and we were wearing like 5 jackets and doing like snake run, like runs and like the roughest, gnarliest, craziest stuff. And that, that's what we do. We're skateboarders. That next thrill, that next adventure. And Steve Van Doren is the guy that's backed me up from the get-go and still does. These guys are my true friends. They've from everywhere from like getting arrested in New York City for smoking weed with Steve Olson on the streets to now having 12 years clean and sober. They've seen it. Yeah, they've seen it and they've been a part of it, but I can just tell you straight up, the best thing that I ever did in my life was just realize that, it's not all about me, that it's about everybody here, and it's about the whole community and the fellowship of what skateboarding has represented in my life. And that's one big, huge, giant, fucking radical family. So, thank
Yeah,
you.
N2XU. My name is Jeff. I'm blown away by the turnout tonight. Thanks for coming. It's totally awesome to see all these happy, shiny faces. Quiet down, Goo. My son. Look, I fucking love skateboarding, okay? I love skateboarding. It's all I've ever done. It's all I've ever wanted to do. And I'm extremely grateful for the opportunity to still be involved in it and to work with Rick and Buddy. They put their heart and soul into telling these little stories that we tell. I think they're important stories. People have lived and bled and died for this shit, and that needs to be respected and protected. And so I just want to thank Vans for backing us up and let us tell these stories. I'd like to thank all of you because you're sitting here, so you obviously give a shit too. So I hope you enjoy it.